Welcome to my tabletop review of my new custom-built 300 blackout. Hey guys, this is Grantley16. Just wanted to do a quick little review on this new gun I've been testing. It's a 300 blackout that I just built. It's a pretty good gun. I've tried to make it into a pistol. Form 1 hadn't come in yet, so can't technically declare it as an SBR yet, and can't put the regular stock on it yet. But for now, this is what I got. Got the recessed barrel. It's a 8.5-inch Noveske barrel with a pig muzzle brake, and I've actually got a polymer lower on this. It's, it makes it a little bit lighter weight. I was going to go with a skeletonized lower, but I decided against it. Just save a little money, Why spend, $600 on a skeletonized upper and lower when you could just buy, $200 upper and lower combination and, have the same functioning rifle, I guess if I were wanting to go higher quality, you can spend as much money as you want. It really doesn't matter, but this works fine for what I use it for. And I got a GunTech handguard. It's it's not the most expensive thing in the world, but it's a decent handguard. I got it pretty much dressed out in Magpul stuff. I got the Magpul PMag. I got a Hoe grip and the Sig Sauer arm brace there, and I've got a VL Tor upper, and it's a pretty decent gun. I haven't built very many of these, but I do a lot of testing and all that, and I've had no reliability issues at all with it. The only real problem I've had is the charging handle I bought. And it's got this extended lever on the outside there, and just the recoil from shooting it just kind of makes it, just kind of pop out, and it'll be just sitting just like that, and you just have to every now and then kind of bump it. I do plan on getting a little bit higher quality one. This, I'm not sure what brand this is, but it just seems to, it's just really, really loose. I guess, but just because of the enlarged lever on the side, it could be a factor in that. I'm not really sure. But overall, it's a pretty good gun. I got the EOTech EXP S3-0 on top with a quick detach. It's I prefer EOTech probably over the Aim Point, which is its main competition. A lot of people say that they don't want any more EOTechs after the lawsuit that went through. The military claimed that they had what's called thermal drift, and the sight would actually drift, like 12 MOA away. In extreme temperatures, like below 25 degrees or something like that, and really hot temperatures also. But around here, I live in Mississippi. It's not that bad. The temperatures really don't get that extreme, and I've had 4 EOTechs, and I haven't had any problems at all with any of them. And this one's no different, and it uses the CR123 battery. Which a lot of people don't like that, but I don't find it that much of an inconvenience to buy that battery. It works for what I use it for, and sometimes I'll keep an extra battery here in the grip, and just keep on rolling like that. But today we're just going to go through a few talking points. We've got a few talking points here. First is the philosophy of use, POU. Now, this would generally be used in the I would say 100-yard or closer range. It's not really made for long range, of course, because it has a short barrel. But not only that, the round itself is, made for shorter ranges. Because, the 300 blackout round can come anywhere from 110 grains all the way up to, 220, stuff like that. And it's a little bit of a disadvantage to the 300 blackout just because it does cost a little bit more, but it's not that bad. You can get pretty cheap FMJ 5.56 for around $8 or $9. You can get this ammo that I use. Lately here I've been testing this cellular and billet ammunition, and you can usually get it around $11-12 a box of 20. So that's not too bad, especially considering that you're getting a much heavier bullet than the 5.56. It hits a lot harder. These are actually 147 grain right here. Now, the 5.56 has a little bit of an advantage in the distance. You could shoot 500-600 yards with that, and it'd be, it wouldn't drop that much at all. It'd be a lot more difficult with this. Now, I'd say with a 300 blackout round out to about 200-300 yards, that'd be a pretty good. Even with a short barrel, we tested it out to 250, I think, and we had pretty good luck with that. Like for example, like the 5.56, just say like a 55 grain or 62 grain, somewhere around 3,000 feet a second coming out of the muzzle. Whereas the 300 blackout is only going to be about, for like 110 grain, would be about 2,350, 2,400, somewhere in there. And, that's a pretty significant feet per second change. But the muzzle energy is also significantly different, where the 5.56 has, just say like a 55 grain like I was talking about, it has a muzzle energy of about 1,280, 1,300, something like that, coming out of the muzzle. And the 300 blackout actually has 2,350. So over 1,000 foot-pounds more. Just the energy coming out of the muzzle. It hits a lot harder just because it's such a heavy bullet coming out, I guess. And people tell me, man, with a short barrel like that, how are you going to hit anything? And how's that going to be accurate at all, But it's made for short-range applications. And I have a few targets here I actually shot. Now, this is at 50 yards. I did jank one right there. But it's a good 1-inch group there. And this is with an EOTech too, not a regular scope. So a lot of this is just me. I'm sure if I had like a 3x9 scope, I could probably hit them all in the red. But I've got, this is 100 yards. Stretches out to about 2.5 inches, and again, a lot of that's me. I'm not the perfect shooter, especially with a 1x sight. It's mainly for shorter ranges, but at 100 yards with an EOTech, to me that's not bad. I'm not the best shooter, but to me that's not bad at all. It's not the most accurate, but it can do a lot better than that. A lot of that was just me kind of shaking, didn't have much of a prop really. And, it's just a lot of just breathing errors on mine. And the trigger is also not that great. And I think the trigger is a big deal as far as accuracy goes. If you want to be really accurate, you're going to have a good trigger. And this is this lower parts kit here. It's just a cheap lower parts kit. I think I got it for about $60, $70, something like that. And it's not that great of a lower parts kit. In fact, I had to do a lot of dremeling on the pins on each side. They just wouldn't push out. They were too deep. The divots in them were just way too deep and I had to Dremel it out real good just so they would pop in and out. And let me go ahead and check this real quick. It is clear. Anyways, but as far as accuracy goes, man, it's everything you need for the short range application. I think I would much rather have this than the 5.56, just because it's so much more stopping power.
5 shots in the play.
You know, you can shoot through. I think we shot through a few center blocks with it and shoot through glass, whereas 5.56, as soon as it hits that glass, it'll go through, but it's going to deflect, you know, into a different angle a lot more. It's just going to flatten out, and the ballistics are just going to go to hell. But I am planning on putting a Law Tactical folding stock adapter on it, just to give it a little bit shorter profile if I want to carry it in my vehicle. It'll be easy, you know, if I need to pull it out of the window. We plan on doing some testing like that, and you'll see in the video that, you know, with this short of a gun, you can pull it up really fast, and it's just adding a folding stock to it would be just even better. Even though you can only shoot one round out of the chamber while it's folded, it'll still be there in an emergency. And you can just fold it out and chamber another, and, you know, run the mag through, and it's just a really good car gun, or, you know, vehicle gun. And I've been running it. You see this behind it. This is my battle belt, Blackout battle belt. It's a decent belt. I've been running with it. Just got 3 mags there. I do have a dump pouch. I just don't have it on there right now. And my 2 pistol mags on the end there. One of the main problems was this magazine right here. This is PCA, and it's I don't know, it feels kind of cheap. I had a few misfeeds because of the magazine, not because of the gun. It wasn't feeding right. It has a hard time just going up in there and sticking, especially if you got a full mag. I mean, it just doesn't go in there very well. But overall, you know, I tested 2 or 3 other mags. Of course, I got this P mag. I've got Lancer mag. I love this mag right here. I love the metal feed lips to kind of reinforce it so it doesn't break off. I love that you can see how many rounds you have in it. It's just a great mag. And I have another black P mag up there. But the 300 Blackout's a great round, man. Like, of course, it's not the cheapest round, but I like because it's hard hitting, and it's not too unaffordable. Now, if you want to go really big, like a lot of people say, hey, Grantley, what would you choose if you went into like a battle, like a war zone, or if you had a home invasion? Probably a shotgun. But if I knew that I was going to have to go and do a lot of long range shooting, or let's say medium to long range, and I had to have something that hits hard but also could shoot close up, I would more than likely go with a battle rifle, like this one. This is my FN Scar. And, man, I love this gun. I'll do a separate review on that later. Let you guys see it. But, man, it's just, if I were going to choose a gun, that would be the gun to go to. But, for now, we're just reviewing this one. And, the 300 Blackout is sufficient to me. Like I said, I didn't have any misfeeds or anything like that during testing. I think we shot probably 1,000 or 2,000 rounds through it without any misfeeds. So, I mean, that's pretty good. And all in all, As far as the value goes, this wasn't too expensive. The Noveske barrel was about $350. Muzzle brake, that was $125. The handguard, of course, you can pick up any handguard for it, but that ran about $75 to $100. I think the lower was about $90. The upper was about $150. 6-hour brace was about $120. $30 hoe grip. Of course, the EOTech. This particular EOTech was, I think, $630. So that's just because it's pretty much the best EOTech that they offer. It's got the night vision compatibility, the quick detach, the darker tan or gold metallic look, whatever you want to call it. But all in all, it's not that expensive of a build, and you can do cheaper. I went with a Noveske barrel, of course. You can do way cheaper than that. I've seen barrels go for $100, $90. But if I was going to get a barrel, I just wanted to go with a really quality one, just to make sure that I had the accuracy. And also, I would suggest, if somebody were to build one of these, go with the 1-in-7 twist. If you go with anything else, I just don't think it's going to stabilize the bullet enough to get it out and get it accurate, especially if you're going to run a suppressor on it. You don't want to get a baffle strike or something like that going on. And I've heard a lot of people talk about that, which we haven't had any problems so far. I'll do a separate video with a suppressor on it. But I built it so that you could actually just take the muzzle brake off, put the suppressor on, and it'd be kind of recessed into the handguard. And a lot of people say, well, Grantley, that's going to get, that's going to burn your hand, that's going to get really hot. But I really haven't had that many problems with it. Even after putting, 200 or 300 rounds through it at a time, it does get pretty warm. But as long as you're wearing your gloves, I suggest tactical gloves, and you also got your angled foregrip here. It's really not that bad. So, if you want to run a short barrel rifle or a pistol rifle, pretty much, because I haven't got the stock for it yet, and my Form 1 hasn't gone through, I would definitely suggest 300 blackout for sure. A lot of people have been using the 9mm, but that's just not going to reach out to the range that this could. And 5.56 just doesn't hit quite hard enough for me. Anyways, guys, that's it for my gun review. If you would, just click the subscribe button if you liked what you saw, and get ready for next week's video.
You ready?
Thanks.